Seems to be taking a while to go live. I don't know whether it started yet. I'm live. Hey, welcome to Tuesday Talk. How are you this evening? So I come here every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. If this is joined in, welcome. And I'm trying some new tricks tonight. I have a new camera that I'm using, so hopefully so I do this every week, as I mentioned, the live show. And then Saturdays, I do step by step where we paint some furniture. So tonight, I'm going to do a Dollar Tree hack, if you will, um, for some office supplies. And of course, I'll be using stencils and Dixie Belle paint and all kinds of things to make everything a little bit pretty. So until we get some people on, I'm going to go ahead and start painting one of the pieces so we get uh, a little bit dry. So I didn't grab the right paintbrush from the store, but this one I'll have to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is are magazine holders. So I'm going to be painting this. Now it comes, if you can picture, you've probably seen them in the dollar store, the Dollar Tree. Actually, the bottom of it is still the original color, which is that bright pink. But I coated it in a coat of slick stick because it's such shiny plastic to ensure that the paint adheres to it really well. I coated it with that. And I brought home this great big container of caviar. And I was going to start painting with that, but I decided to change my mind because that's a woman too, right? And I'm going to use kudzu because I have a lot of floral stuff going on, a lot of stencil stuff, and I just thought it would be prettier. So I have a lot of stuff in front of me, and I want to show you some stuff. But I think that I will get this painting started so that we can let that dry a little bit and revisit it. So I hope everyone is doing well this evening. This one reaches in, but the other one would have been perfect. You know, can't always, right? But this is going to be cool. Um, I think you'll be impressed with this one. So I have been having a kind of a good week so far. Busy, very busy, and I had some good news to share. Of course, uh, it's been my birthday month, and I was doing a video every day, and the only day I missed was, in fact, on my birthday. So, if you haven't seen all those videos, you might want to check them out or not, because I'm not really painting in all of them. So I talk about a bunch of different things. If you aren't subscribed, I would love it if you subscribe. We're growing subscribers every day. And I have something exciting in the works. I always have something exciting in the works, at least I think so. Exciting to me anyway, but I think we are going to give away a piece of furniture. So it'll be a little bit of a contest. You'll just have to share videos and subscribe and all that good stuff. And then you'll get in a drawing for a piece of furniture. We'll do one of those randomizers to pick the winner. So that'll be coming up soon. And this week I did Noble did 14-year-old entrepreneur here in Altoona. She did a Nature's Canvas coloring book, and I asked her if I could use one of her designs, and she said because it sold the very first day. So I have another piece that I want to do, kind of based on one of her designs, a little bit more loosely based on her design, but it'll still definitely be hers. So I'm kind of excited about that little collaboration. The reason being, we had, well, I had, but I informed Edie that besides the sale of it the first day, we had a couple people asking, if is this still available? So there would have been two definite offers because the one person that asked came back and said again, for sure, is this sold? And then the other one said was on vacation, and she said I was totally going to get this when I came back. So she said you're going to have to make another one. So gotta please the public. Of course, I'm not going to do the exact same thing because that would be kind of boring. Oh, good. That was just a flake off of the paintbrush. I thought I got paint on myself, which that wouldn't be anything new. So, the one exciting tidbit that I wanted to share with you is that starting on July 29th, I'm going to be doing a segment on a TV show, Fox 8 and 23. So, it's Money Matters, and my segment's going to be kind of a design on a dime. So I'm pretty excited. I want to get it on my other stuff. I put fresh paper down, and I'll be moving the camera down here when I work on some other things. So it's amazing what you can find at the Dollar Tree. So there's always so many videos on YouTube of Dollar Tree hacks. So my connection is unstable. Okay, I guess I'm back. But anyway, I don't know how that looked to you, but I hope I didn't go anywhere. But anyway, so there's always all these Dollar Tree hacks, and I thought, well, I'm going to try it myself because I'm carving out a little space in the store for myself for an office. I always had like a mobile office. Had one upstairs, a little corner upstairs, but I never go up there. When there's customers in the store and I want to get something done, I can't really go upstairs. So if I do go up when there's no one there, that's the time when someone comes in. So it's a little more practical to have something downstairs. So I'm going to be doing that. So I just wanted to design some things that were expensive and practical. And I thought, well, I'm going to try doing some DIY Dollar Tree hacks. So I'm almost done with this guy. I actually have two more of them. I'm not going to put you through painting all of them, but because they're all going to be the same thing. It's the other stuff that's kind of exciting, but I love this though. I can't wait to show you the rest of it as soon as it's dry. So I think it's going to be a very upscale looking hack. Get the bottom of this so I can set it down and paint the rest of it. Now, I did get a new camera, and I'm playing with this, and if it falls, you're just going to have to forgive me. So far, so good, huh? Okay. It seems to have a little bit of a delay to it, which using the regular webcam didn't, but I guess I'll get used to it. And I have some other things to show you, things that are up and coming, and also a little bit of completion from last week's project. All right, I know I have this one side left to finish, but everything's wet, so I'm having trouble navigating here. So please feel free to comment about anything that I'm doing or any questions you have for me, or just if you want to tell me what's going on in your life or what you're working on right now, if you're working on any projects. I got some more of the redesigned products in today. The Blossom Flight transfer. It's gorgeous. Okay, so this is going to dry. I forgot a thing of water, but I have a little wet paper towel here, so I'll just put it on that. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside. Can't really set it on the floor. I'm going to set a bag down and set it down here because I don't have enough room. All right. So I want to show you some of the things that I have planned for tonight. Let me put the camera back up here. Okay. So file folders, that's an important thing to have in an office, right? So we're going to do some of those too. I made some samples, and here's one of them. So it's plain on the inside and just decorative on the outside. The back side isn't done on this one either. But this one's done with a heavier paper, and I thought was all that was necessary with that. And these things are really neat. Again, from the Dollar Tree. They're just like, they come in a pack of 18. They're Jot brand of office supplies, but these little sleeves, they're adhesive. You just take them out and then you just slide one of the labels in. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I did that one, and then I did a couple other ones here. So this one, I just took some transfers. I have been playing with these transfers here a couple times, and I thought I would try that. And again, I used the adhesive. So that's kind of cool, interesting. And then this one I really like. It's a stenciled one. I used that stencil that I really liked, and I sort of made a damask pattern out of it. So you can see that I did front and back. I thought that turned out really cool, and I really like that design. So I don't know whether this light is too bright or not, guys. Just tell me if it is. Comment and tell me. I'm just not used to this new camera, and it's a little weird. So, okay, so the file folders you get. Let me see. Here's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 file folders for $1. Now, you know how it is in the boutique stores if you buy fancy office supplies. These things are expensive. They'll do a couple of them in a pack, and they're really high end, really expensive. So I'm just going to set the ones that I did aside, and I'm going to show you a couple other options. So I'm going to take one here, and I found a piece of vintage wrapping paper that we can use. Now this is the same kind of paper. It's like a thinner scrapbook paper that I used on the other folder. So that would be an option. But here's a piece of vintage wrapping paper. This is so pretty. I'm going to put the screen down, and then again, I worry every time now that it's going to fall until I get this down. But this is so easy. So I'm just opening it up. The rest down here. And opening up the file folder. Going to line up the edges, because the less I have to cut, the better. To get that lined up. And then I have a little marker here. This is just a Sharpie fine point marker. So I'm just going to trace around the edges. I got some on my file folder. That's okay. Running out of room here. Okay, and a minute and cut that out. Set that aside. I'm going to get the biggest piece cut away first, so I'm not rattling paper, because that's one of my biggest pet peeves. What is your worst pet peeve? I don't mind it much, the paper, when I'm controlling it, but if someone else is doing it, it makes me go crazy. My whole family knows that. They're aware of that. And especially my kids, there are times when they love to love to do that. But now that they're older, not so much. Okay. This wrapping paper is kind of thin, but yet it's probably more sturdy than a lot of paper you get today. It's not shiny, which is kind of cool. Okay, so we have the outline. Oh, forgot this little piece over here. Oh, and by the way, tomorrow night, so Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, I'm going to be on the Dixie Belle Paint Company Facebook page live at 9 o'clock. So I hope you join me there. Okay, so this is going to get glued on here. So I'm going to use tacky glue as usual because it's so good and tacky. And because the paper's thin, I don't want to use a whole lot. I'm going to take a brush and help spread it around because we don't want anything lumpy underneath this paper. We want to get it pretty even, not just around the edges, but all over. It's probably pretty good. Lid here. Brush. This brush is a little damp, but that's okay. You do want to make sure it's spread out to the edges. This paper's fragile. You may not have enough glue on here, but we're gonna roll with it because I don't want lumps under there. So again, just want to make sure we have it up to the edges so that we get that really well. Go along those edges. Okay, let's give this a whirl. Now this is the part where we have to be real careful and line it up. So lay it down here. Because tacky glue is, as the name implies, it tacks up really quickly. So you don't have a lot of time to play around with this. And given the nature of the paper, how fragile it is, you got to be careful. So that's pretty good. So we're just going to smooth it out. This is actually might be a good time for me to open a new toy that I brought home. Shouldn't call it a toy. It's a tool of the trade, but this is a transfer tool. It's from Redesign with Prima, for applying transfers. This will make a nice, nice smooth edge to smooth this out, I think. It seems to be working pretty well. I just want it all adhered. That glue brought to the edges. And here's a place where I'm going to have to put a little extra glue. Didn't get enough. Okay. And I have to trim a little bit of that too. Okay, this actually worked pretty well. Just trim that excess there. Actually, there's some excess all around, so I'm going to trim it up. Up here, there's a little bit extra. So are you guys ready for the 4th of July? Not overly excited just because of my dog. He just gets petrified, so okay, so we have the file folder covered, and that looks really nice. And then we're just going to go ahead and take these little adhesive sleeves for $1, so you can do 18 file folders. So if you buy 2 packs of file folders, you'll still have 2 of these left. So if you make a mistake, the top of the file folder. Okay, and then you take one of the little strips of paper and just put it in. Okay, so that one is all done. You see the little strip on there? I think it's really pretty. Okay, let's see if our, okay, this isn't quite dry. Needs to be dry, and it's probably going to need another coat. I won't bother coating the inside again because that won't really matter, but I will put another coat on the outside just to get good coverage. But can you see already just how pretty these things are together? So again, we're not done with this. In addition to this, that's going to make it look kind of high end. So stick around. Okay, so another file folder done. I'm going to put that with the rest of the collection. So some other little office-y things that you can get at the Dollar Tree. These ones I'm not going to be doing anything with tonight, but I just wanted to show you some of these things. So these magnetic tins. So you could use a cookie sheet, which again, you can also get at the Dollar Tree. You could get a couple of them and you can paint them. If you use Dixie Belle chalk paint and paint and whatever color you want, if you want it like a chalkboard color, then you can use the caviar, or tree frog green is really cool because it's kind of like an elementary school chalkboard. But if you paint in one direction and then you paint in the other direction after that's dry, so just do however many coats to get good coverage, and when it's completely dry, you prime it with a piece of chalk, and voila, you have a chalkboard. So that's really a cool little board that you can do in the office. And then these little magnetic tins you could put on it. They also have these magnetic hooks. So you can get some really versatile pieces in the office for cheapo. You can put paper clips in here, or, you know, safety pins or whatever you need, push pins, but just kind of nice because those little things get lost on your desk. So I'll be showing you that project when I get done with it. And these, of course, whatever keys or whatever you need to have handy. And these I thought were really cool, but they're binder rings. I use these sometimes when I make chandeliers. They're so easy to use because they just but they're really sturdy. They're much sturdier than depending on like a jump ring, because I try to use like jewelry making skills when I do that. So I know I'm speaking of jumping around a little bit, but we are waiting for some paint to dry, and we're going to talk about some other office things. Before we do that, I want to take a little revisit to last week. So remember, we were doing signs. We were stenciling the signs, and I thought that was a lot of fun. But here was the one that I was working on when I stopped. It raised stencil. So I used the spackling and put the stencil on there and got a raised design. So I am not like in love with this one, but you can see it's a pretty cool technique. So there's that. And let me see, not leftover from last week, but looking to weeks in the future. So here's where I need your input. Help me out because I have some projects coming up. So here's another new thing. This is fast cast. Okay. This camera's backwards, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know whether there's a setting on that to change it, but fast cast clear casting epoxy. And it sets up, I think you have like 12 minutes open time or something. We used the amazing casting resin, the two-part epoxy before, and that turns white in 20 minutes, and you're able to unmold it and paint it. But I'm super excited about this clear because I want to simulate some crystals, um, and just try some things like that, like maybe make some jewelry and put some natural elements in it, or maybe like in a cabochon or something, put a little, paper of some sort, or paint something in there and pour the clear casting on it. So I'm kind of excited about that because that's sort of like the same thing, quick setting, only it's clear. So I've been reading a lot about the different clear cast things. So that's one project, and we can do that on a Tuesday talk. So you'll have to vote for that. But then I have another little upcoming. This is another one of my little finds, but I just got a whole bag full of jewelry blanks. These are cuffs. So I'm going to be making some molds out of hot glue, painting them using gemstones, real gemstones, and applying those. They make beautiful jewelry. I've made it before and I sell out of it all the time because I use the patina paint, and it just looks all rusty on there. I leave the silver metal, and then I use the glue to do the rusty part, and then put the gemstone on it. They're very striking. So let me know what you want to do next. If we vote on this, then I've got to hurry up and get some cabochons in. I won't be able to wait for Wish. I'll have to order from Etsy. So I'll have to order from within the United States because I don't think they have those at the craft store. Okay, so back to office supplies. So another office staple is the clipboard. And during quarantine, we actually did a decoupage kit. So basically, you could do the same thing. There's enough paper that if you just wanted to decoupage a clipboard to make a matching set, which I think is what I'm going to do just because I have it here. Um, you could paint it and stencil it or whatever you want to do with it. But I think I'll actually just do this because I want to make a matching set. So same process. Obviously from the Dollar Tree. So they're a little bit different than some of the other clipboards that you can get. The ones that have the the big clip on them that says standard, they're a little more fun, but you can still have fun with these. The reason they're more fun is because there's that big surface that sticks up and you can glue stuff on it. Like you can glue old earrings or, things like that and make it look like gems. So that's kind of cool. But these are nice because even, again, for $1, they have this little piece here that lets you hang it. So you can hang it on the board or on your wall and clip things to it. So again, we'll cut this out. And I am fortunate because people give me things all the time. And this was a gift from my dear friend Brandy. She has honeybee reflexology. And she gifted me with some paper goods. Like there was an old book and stuff and old paper dolls, which I think that would be a fun thing to do sometime, is do some cool art with paper dolls. So this, I'm going to need to cut out to allow for this thing. So I'm just going to line it up, and it's thin enough that my fingernail actually just scored that there. And I think that'll do it. And I didn't round the one corner, so I have to do that. This is pretty good. I need to cut out just a little bit more. Close enough. So do you guys ever watch YouTube videos that are Dollar Tree hacks? Sometimes I feel like they take something that's, wasn't real attractive in the first place. And totally, I'm amazed sometimes at the things that they do. And then sometimes I'm kind of like, okay, well, it still looks like a Dollar Tree thing. It just looks like a different Dollar Tree thing. So that's just my opinion. But I thought I lost my pen for a second. And you might say that when you see mine, and feel free to be honest with me as well. I love to have your comments. When you comment on my videos, that helps my engagement and it helps my channel, it helps me grow. So good, bad, or ugly, I love it when you comment. Okay, so this looks like it's pretty well lined up. So again, this time I'm going to put the glue on the clipboard itself. A little bit easier to spread the glue around. And make sure we have it close to the edges around this thing. There's so much glue in here, and the lid is kind of clogged a little bit. I really should take it off and clean it. I was tempted to open a new one, but it's really full. Okay. And I always like to take a brush and spread the glue around. So, are you guys vacationing this year? It's kind of tough to plan vacations with the whole COVID thing. I know people in places, but I guess, this year may not be quite as much fun as in years past because you might not be able to do all of the things you wanted to do, the dining, etc. Seating are good. Okay. Actually went out to lunch today. Enjoyed two friends from Maryland came to visit, and we drove down to Marzoni's, put the top down on the car, and then sat outside and just enjoyed a beautiful day, beautiful Pennsylvania day, summer day. So again, I'm using this transfer tool from Redesign. And it really is doing a great job. There's a little crease in the wrapping paper from the fold. It's getting that out. And it's just burnishing this onto the clipboard and getting rid of any bubbles that were in there from the glue. Not sure why I waited so long to pick up one of these burnishing tools because it's pretty cool. I'm really going to enjoy using it with my transfers. So speaking of which, I got the new Blossom Flight one today. So hopefully I'm going to have enough here soon to offer to the public. I have to get enough inventory built up. We're changing around in our store and making a new studio. It's going to be pretty exciting. Okay, I think what I would do is let this dry and take some sandpaper and kind of work these edges. Just kind of file down a little bit because there's ever so slight overhang like under there. I think you can see just a little bit. The camera back up. Okay. So now we have a clipboard. And again, you can lift this little thing up and hang it on your wall and put your notes in there. And now it just coordinates ever so beautifully with my file folder. So isn't this pretty? Okay, let's take another look at the magazine holder. So really it needs another coat, but I did not bring my heat gun here to dry it. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you what we're going to do to it to take it up a notch. So again, I used kudzu. I have two options here. So I have these library drawer pulls and just a regular library card, like for a library drawer. So which do you think? I'm just going to use E6000 glue and attach that. So either have that or the one with the little pull. Try to hold it so you can see it. Very crooked. Okay, I'll tell you what my vote is. And this is just because, so that one has that little pull on it, just because I have a bunch of these and I could maybe use this one on some furniture a little better because of that little pull. So I think I'm going to use these ones. There, I asked your opinion and then I made an executive decision. But don't you think that's going to look really great on there with the paper in it to tell what it is? And, I know, like, I have a whole collection of my flea market decor magazines, and that'll be just perfect. Because those are things like I like to keep. Because I get ideas from these, and to me that way they'll be organized. It's not like a bunch of magazines just laying around. So let me see. I've been on 41 minutes tonight, and I don't want to put you through the painting. We had a nice little live, and I want you to comment and tell me which project you like best. And as usual, I will follow up with you, and I'll post these goodies on my Instagram. And I mentioned that I was going to do the metal board too. I will catch you up on that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a video of the office makeover. So, have you ever seen on Pinterest, like, do a search for this Cloffice? It's a closet office. That's sort of what I'm using. It's not as small as a closet. It's just a odd shaped corner in the store. And it has like partitions around it. I think there's just going to be enough for a desk and a chair and some shelves, or maybe a file cabinet. So it's going to be a little tiny space, but I really want to glam it out. So I think that these accessories, so I wanted to show you this. I'll stick it in here, but I just wanted to show you this with the kazoo. I just think that's a really pretty combination. Of course, I won't be putting these file folders in these things, but there's all kinds of other things I think that you can do with the little baskets too. But that's all I got for tonight for you. And I'm so appreciative that you spent the time with me. And I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. But also, I'd love it if you join me tomorrow night on the Dixie Belle page. On their page at 9 o'clock, I'm doing a live, and I'll be painting a suitcase, and I'll be using a raised stencil with Dixie Belle mud, and I'll be using some sea spray and also Dixie dirt, and also Moonshine Metallics paint. So lots of stuff going on. This is actually a suitcase for a client that's going to be transformed into a desk. So cool project. And so we've got that going on. And then also Saturday, step by step, I'm going to show you how to overcome bleeding when you're using a vintage piece of furniture and you're painting it white, because that was a challenge. So I just want to show you how to overcome that challenge. So again, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video, hopefully tomorrow night. Take care. Have a great night.